Hey, what's going on, you guys? Today we're going to be talking about how to do a high skin fade with a disconnected comb over. I'm going to show you guys all my steps to doing a high skin fade, and then I'm going to show you guys how I cut the top to make sure that it blends on one side and disconnects on the other while keeping the high skin fade. For a high skin fade, I usually start really high up. So I start right above the eyebrows. So here's my guideline for a high skin fade. I bring it right up to that point. You start noticing with a hairline where it goes down and then it'll curve over into the sideburns. Right where the point that it curves, right there, that's where I start my guideline. Now bring that guideline all the way around. For a high skin fade, I usually don't drop as much in the back as I usually do for a medium fade or a low fade. I just bring it straight across with a tiny drop. The reason why I even do a drop in the first place is just for the cowlick. Sometimes with the cowlick, if you take it up too high, the transition between the back of the hair and the top of the hair just doesn't look as nice when it's like short and then super long. So just doing a little bit of a drop just makes that whole haircut look better. And I make the guideline follow all the way through on this side. Then like always, after you're done, finished making the guideline, just go to the front and check. Make sure that both sides are at the same height. This side looks a little bit lower, so I'm just gonna bring it just a little bit higher right there. Yeah, that should be better. Next up, we're gonna shave all this bottom part down to a skin. So usually I use the Bronze Series 7. Just because it cuts a lot smoother, but you can use any tool you wish. Doing a skin fade right here, you don't want to take the shaver all the way up to that guideline you made. You want to just take it up right below that guideline and then go down at the guideline area, just so it has a transition. When you go down, it actually cuts with the grain, so it's not leaving a harsh line. So you notice how I'm doing this motion right here? I'm like kind of dabbing and going down at it. Sometimes I even just use the corner just to break up a line, and then I'll go up. All this down here doesn't matter, so I'll just use the shaver for all this, going up and down. But once it gets close to the line, I go down at it, and I'll use my corners. And I continue that process all the way to the other side, and then we'll move on to the next step. It's this much, this is the amount of room you get to fade, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a disconnected, that's what he gets, and you don't bring it all the way in, but you bring it pretty tight, and then you see how it combs over, and then you see how it hangs, that's how you know that it's disconnected. Without even asking him, you can kind of tell that his haircut was disconnected on this side, and on this side it's connected, and I'll show you guys that in a second. But just want to show you that when you see a new client or something, they want a comb over, you can kind of see their hairstyle before you start cutting it. I'm going to do a open half guard, so this is closed and that's open, and when I say midway, that's midway, okay? And then close, open. If it's hard to see your guideline, that's okay, because if it's hard to see, that means it's easier to blend out later. But just make sure that you make the guideline the same thing all the way around. Don't make like this side lighter and then the other side more, you know, so just make sure that both sides are the same. And then go midway or close, up to you. I'm gonna start with close. I'm gonna hit this bottom line, the very first line we made. I'm just gonna bring it up like a little bit. Tiny bit, and I'm gonna open it to midway, and I'm gonna bring that line up a little bit more. Not reaching the new line we made, just slightly. I'm doing this side first. Usually I'll go around the whole head and I'll do it, but I'll do this side first just so you guys can see how it's done. And look, the fade's already there. And then I open it all the way and hit the line I made, the guideline. And if you do it correctly, it should blend right into the guideline, just like that. Now let's repeat the process to the other side and the back. For me, I usually like to do, if I'm not doing all the way around, then I'll do left or right first and then do both sides. And then I'll come back and I'll do the back. Just so it has like a more consistent look to it. And it's okay if you guys take a long time on this. Just rewind the video, watch it again, watch it in slow motion if you guys need to. But for now, I'm doing it like this just to show you guys, like if you guys continue doing fade and continue doing this over and over, the speed will come, you'll get faster and faster, especially if you already know the client's hair. If you don't know the client's hair, it's always gonna be hard the first time. Okay, this is the old guideline we made. These are the new guideline we made, so we're just gonna get rid of that. And if you think that part is too high, just wait till you blend it in and you'll see that it all just flows nicely. I'm gonna pop on a 1 guard and I'm gonna close it first. I'm gonna make my new guideline and then I'll blend into that and then clip over a comb. Going all the way around the head. I'll spin the client so you can see my guideline. See how I'm not all the way to the top? I'm not bringing it straight to the line. You don't want to bring it straight to the line because then it'll make it super tight and round off his haircut. Depending on the client, some of them don't like it to be round off. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do is a half guard. I'm gonna go halfway and I'm just gonna blend right into that number 1. I'm gonna hit that bottom line and just flick out. If you guys find that this is a little bit hard to do, open the half all the way and then do the exact same motion. And then if you guys still see a light line, close it halfway and then do it again. Okay, repeat the process, open all the way. And then close a little bit. There you go, just continue following this motion. And here, same thing, I'm gonna go halfway, but like I said, you guys can do open first. I'm gonna hit that line and I'm gonna flick out, okay? Like, I'm flicking out each time. I'm not going straight up to the old guideline we made. I'm just flicking out to get there. I'm almost like guiding that hair, the whole area, to the guideline that we made. So it makes it a lot easier to blend. And that eventually you guys will get super fast at it or super good at it. And that's how you speed up your haircut, when you're able to just guide the line to it. And since we did both sides already, the back is not that much, so just like that, and it's all done there. The next part, we are going to clipper over a comb. I'm gonna use a 000, and then this is the comb I like to use. 000 because it blends into a 1 open pretty well, or a 1 close. And if you can't blend into the 1 close, then you just do it open. And I always do straight up, okay? So like for this, I'm gonna blend it in just a little bit, but I'm not gonna go in too much because you don't want to round off the haircut like I was saying. You want to just go just a little bit where just the blending part matches. And even though it doesn't look like much of a difference, there's a huge difference. So just be careful on what you guys do. Make sure you don't bring it all the way in all the time on every client. This is why like some haircuts, or a lot of haircuts, clients are different. The haircut may look the same, but the process is all different. There's little adjustments here and there on different clients that makes their haircut a little bit customized to each one. But if you do the same thing to every single client, then you might not get a good result on all of them. And on this side, I'm gonna blend it straight up and into the hair, so right on top. I'm going a little bit more straight up on this side than the other side, just because this side, you notice how I was saying earlier, this side blends in and the other side is a undercut. Notice how this side, the hair doesn't hang over right here. It hangs over in front just to give them some area, some styling to pull it back, but on the side it doesn't hang over at all. I always start with the front. You bring it straight up, you find out how much you need to cut, and gonna cut just a little bit in the front and then use that as a guideline to cut the rest. Bring it back. Like I always say in all my videos, I'm gonna say it again, try to make sure at least 8 times, front to back. It helps a lot because then you won't have, like, I call them hills. When you look at it, cross-check them, and then you'll start seeing like lumps going up and down, up and down, up and down. And you don't want that. So if you go at least 8 times, it'll help prevent that, front to back. And then I bring it on this side, front to back. You kind of can see the guideline that you made. You also can see that the angle of the middle one that you just cut. So just use all those as a guideline. Comb it down, see how it looks. And I scissor comb just a little bit right here, just to kind of softly blend it without changing the shape of the hair. Since he combs his hair this way, I always cross-check this way, back, against it. Bring it up. Right now you're not cutting anything, you're just checking to make sure that everything is even from the side. And from the looks of this, it looks pretty even. There's no, like, those lumps that I was telling you guys about. I almost never want to leave the client leaving like this, just, oh, we're done, here's the haircut. So I always try to style it to however he likes. Even if he doesn't want product in there, I'll blow dry it toward that direction. And just so he leaves like a little bit with a nicer hair instead of just messy and it looks all weird, then he has to comb it himself when he gets inside the car. We're gonna finish this off right here. I'm gonna finish off with some hairspray and we're pretty much done with the haircut. If you have a client with a cowlick that sticks up, go with the grain or go with the cowlick, however it's spinning. It'll help it lay down. Don't just try to cut it off or anything. And pushing the cowlick down. I hope you guys like this video. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you guys haven't already, because in here we do talk a lot about barber skills, barber techniques, barber tips and tricks, just everything barber related. And even for clients that don't know a lot about their hair. If you want to learn anything about hair, this is the channel for you. My name is Andy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.